Dum 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 dum. Is that the chase?
Not sure that sounded right.
I don't know if that. I think I've just made that up.
It's similar, but you're not quite there.
Yeah, today on the show we have Darragh Ennis, who.
Why are you going to Star Wars?
I thought we're just doing tunes.
That's Star Wars.
Darragh Ennis is on the show today, who's one of the chasers. He's the lovely, charming Irish fella that was a contestant. Then he did really well that they called him back up and got him on the show.
The Menace.
Yeah, they call him the Menace. And based on that, because of how lovely he was today, he's really performed well as a contestant on this show today, and I may be calling him up to take your place in future weeks.
That's fair. No, I'd prefer to be with him.
It's a fucking brilliant episode, to be honest.
I loved him. I love it when people are really smart sat with us.
Smart, yeah, he knew like straight away. I was where you from? He went Ireland, bosh. I was like, he knows stuff, doesn't he?
He does, and I even quizzed him. Well, I quizzed you.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. And
talks about dissecting brains.
Taking the brains out of little flies with tiny little scissors. And he also gives the lowdown on the chase, of course. He spills the beans on his fellow chasers, and he tells us how contestants sometimes contest the answers. They're on the show, they get an answer wrong, and they go, "No, sorry, Brad. We'll stop recording. I think I'm right and you're wrong." They do that sometimes. Stop
doing that.
You'll have fun today. Jaack Mate's Happy Hour. Hello guys and welcome back to Jaack Mate's Happy Hour podcast. Stevie, you know when it's me, you, Robbie and Alfie?
Yeah.
We often talk about who's the smartest one, who's the thickest one.
Well, we always have the same answers.
What's the answer to who's the thickest one?
Do I need to answer that?
You're saying me, aren't you? You're saying me. I always do feel like the stupidest man in the room when I'm with you three.
Yeah.
I would say you're probably the smartest one, would you say, before?
I've not done Mensa, so I don't know.
Well, we'll find out about that later, because today we are joined with... Right, I'm going to say it right now, Stevie. Probably the smartest guest we've had on. Let's try and think real quick. Let's have a real think. Who could come close?
Bilal Jalal.
Was a professor at Harvard. But that was all about sleep.
Yeah, he was a neuroscientist.
Deborah Meaden, she's good at business.
This is what we're saying, though.
Right.
What is smart?
We're about to find out, because today on the show we have Darragh Ennis, the Menace. How are you, mate?
Great, thanks for having me on.
Now, you are one of the smartest men ever, is that correct?
Not even remotely close. I'm very good at remembering trivia, for starters.
Right.
But there's no real way to measure intelligence, and anybody who tells you otherwise is talking nonsense, to be honest.
See, we're having a little chat just before we came on, and you said this to us, and it's already made me feel better. Yeah. So if I know loads about West Ham United Football Club, does that mean I'm smart?
Well, it means that you're smarter than me about West Ham United Football Club. But it's really knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. And yeah, there's certain sort of powers of intelligence, but it's really, really hard to measure. You know, doing intelligence tests, people who do good at them are people who are good at tests.
Right.
I'm brilliant at tests because I can remember stuff. So if we have to study something all the way, I barely worked in school and I sort of drifted through and just passed exams anyway. Because
really?
I could just remember things.
So if you knew, say, in 2 weeks' time you had to do a test about West Ham United Football Club.
Yeah, I'd learn and
would you beat me?
I'd probably smash it, yeah. Well, I probably wouldn't beat you. The thing is I wouldn't beat you because you'd have lots of niche knowledge. I'd learn the top level facts. I'd know when the club was founded, lists of managers, top scorers, things that are come up in tests.
Oh, okay.
And I would target those. So I would have a really, really shallow layer of knowledge.
Right.
Which is what I have about most subjects. People say, oh, you know everything about everything. I know a tiny amount about lots of things. Because that's what comes up in quizzes.
I like how your brain works there, because you've gone straight into what questions you'd need to know.
Yeah.
But it's even knowing that. So how about we throw a topic and Darragh can tell us what questions he would
style of questions you
so if you had to say it was a quiz about the comedian Peter Kay, what would you learn?
So the whole quiz is about him.
Yeah.
So I'd learn when he was born, where he's from, if he has a real name. I think Peter Kay is his real name.
Mm-hmm.
What his biggest audience was, what the names of his tours were, the TV shows he's been in, the characters he's played, and the people who are on those TV shows. They're most likely to come up.
I wouldn't have even thought of like biggest crowd he's played.
Or real name.
Well,
No, I just assume.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think he has the record for like the largest overall crowd of a comedian tour, or had it at one point, and one of his tours. So I'd learn the name of that because that's likely to come up.
Oh, wow. I'm super excited for this episode today. It's going to be great. Darragh, we always start with the same question for every single guest. We want you to imagine a place called the Happy Hour Hall of Fame, a fictional place. You can submit an item into there that means something to you. Can be serious, can be silly, can be jovial, whatever you like. What would you like to put in?
Right. A couple of weeks ago, a lot of British people got exposed to the All-Ireland hurling final, and I would put the sport of hurling in. And hurling, for those who haven't seen it, is kind of like a mixture between lacrosse, hockey, and, inter-county warfare. 15 guys on a pitch with a ball that's similar to a cricket ball, a very long wooden stick, and they smash that ball towards goalkeepers. And anybody who's a goalkeeper in that sport needs their head examined. But it's exciting, it's fast-paced, it's wonderfully skillful, and it's amazing to watch.
Is that the one where they have like a net and they have to catch the ball in the net?
No, that's
lacrosse.
Think lacrosse on steroids.
Did you not see this? Like a few weeks ago on Twitter was going crazy for it.
Brilliant.
They're like launching the ball up and smashing it like a baseball.
It's the fastest game on grass by quite a bit.
I've never seen anything like it. And you're right.
And it's 15 aside, and they tackle each other, and there's goalkeepers. And
when I'm watching some of it, I'm thinking like, how's the goalkeeper ever saving that?
yeah, and they don't wear pads; they wear helmets. And they only made helmets mandatory a little while ago, and people complained as well.
I'm now.
It's one of the maddest
This is
things.
hurling,
'Cause
best
as they
goals
run,
and
they
points.
hit the ball up as well, don't they?
Did he hit it? Did he hit
Oh,
it?
you have to do it like an egg and spoon race. You're not allowed to hold it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, it might be a bit of dead air here.
Well, I
right
think
now,
you have
so-
to put the clip up. Is the way. To do it.
Yeah.
Put the clip up for people to see.
Yeah.
Even teaching you about editing already.
But yeah, it's the most brilliant sport. It's so skillful. It's so exciting and fast paced.
Wow.
And it's truly a tragedy it hasn't really spread from outside of Ireland.
Why do you think that is then?
It's incredibly difficult. They make it look easy, but it's really hard. I am like good at quizzes and nothing else. I could not even pick the ball up in this when I was a kid, so I just never played it. But if you go to the counties that are really good at this, I was in Kilkenny in Ireland at a wedding a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we walked through a town and every kid is carrying one of those sticks. Like everyone. Like you'd see kids kicking a football around. They're all doing it from
Wow.
tiny age. And it takes that much time and that much muscle memory to get to that level.
Blimey.
And none of these guys are getting paid, by the way. It's all amateur.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
What, that you don't have like a Cristiano Ronaldo of the sport?
yeah. You do, but he doesn't get any money.
Oh, wow.
It's amateur. And the same with the other code, Gaelic football. You get crowds at the final of 70, 80,000, millions watching around the world. It all goes back into grassroots. So if you go to any tiny village in Ireland, they'll have a GAA club with a great pitch, clubhouse, all funded from Central Sport. That's where all the money goes.
I've always said one day I want to do a series with you, maybe for my main channel, where we try new things.
I'd
So
love
that
to
can
give
be
hurling a
anything.
go.
That would be a great.
I went to Donegal,
Yeah.
and when I was up there, I went to watch Finn Harps, their football team.
I used to be a St. Pat's fan. That's
really?
that's a different level of football. You got like, the Premier League and the Irish League is very, very good.
Yeah. But when I was up there, I got so many messages from people saying I need to go and watch Gaelic football rather than just the standard. And I didn't realise there wasn't much money in it because the stadium was huge.
Yeah,
Remember,
but the money doesn't go to the players, it goes to the association.
Oh.
do they get sponsored or anything like the
Oh
players?
yeah, they don't get any money. They might get travelling expenses, they might get sort of, promotional stuff, but they get paid almost nothing. It's for pride, it's not for money.
Wow.
Blimey.
And they dedicate their lives to it. Like, I am involved with the club in Oxford. So I live in Oxford, and Era Og are the name of the club. And we play, but if we contacted Central about, we want to start up a kids team, they'd send us all the gear.
Oh, wow.
Now imagine doing that with the FA. They just laugh at you, because that's just not how it works. You have to fund. So it's a really great organisation in that respect. But yeah, the game at the top level, in men's and women's, is completely nuts.
Fair play. So Darragh Ennis is putting curling.
Hurling.
Curling's
Sorry.
on ice. Come on.
See, I said I'm stupid.
We actually did genuinely pre-warn Darragh before the show. Jack's going to say some stupid things.
And he kind of rubbished it and was like, no, everyone's smart in their own way. He's now finding out that actually I am a fucking idiot. Okay, let's do some quick fire questions to get to know Darragh Ennis. See if he hit us.
Okay, Darragh, everyone knows you're a brilliant chaser, but if you were getting chased in the real world, where would you hide to make sure you were never caught?
I would hide in my old friend Shane Granger's house because he has a castle in his back garden.
In his back garden?
Yeah.
Surely that's the main
No, it's a
course.
ruin of a castle, but there's a tower with a lockable gate and it's got like 3 foot thick walls. So I'd hide in Shane's house. He's got it sorted.
That's a great answer.
Fair enough. We ask every guest this. What's the most unusual app on your phone?
The most unusual app on my phone, for most people, it's an auto cue app because I do a lot of social media stuff, and despite my memory being good, I tend to wander off the point and get distracted. So to keep me focused, I have an auto cue app.
Are you good at reading it, would you say?
I used to be dreadful. Now I'm okay.
Yeah.
When I first did it, my missus said to me, "You're so bad at this. You need to practice."
It's quite hard, isn't it?
It's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
I have one on my phone, and I found the first couple of times I used it, I felt robotic.
Yeah.
It felt like you can just tell I'm reading something
And you're not looking at the camera, you're looking at the text.
Yeah.
So I had to put the text box right up the top and really small, so I'm looking close to the camera.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're kind of...
I got Sport Bible. I can say this now because the series is finished. But Sport Bible offered me a series once, and they were like, "Are you good with in ear? Like when the producers speak to you in your ear, which I'm sure you do for the chase."
No.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, we're not allowed.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get
Very
to that.
obvious reasons.
True.
Brad does, we don't.
Right. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm fluent in that." And then, are you good at reading auto cue? And I'd never read auto cue before. And then on my first day when I had to do it, I think it became very clear that I couldn't do it.
I'd already booked it.
Yeah, it's too late now. We did 12 episodes of that. If you could ask any animal a question, and for that question only, they'd be able to speak back to you and give you a detailed answer, what would you ask and to which animal?
So I would ask the immortal jellyfish what was its earliest memory to see how old it was.
Such a good question.
Okay, you're the smartest man in the world. You're the smartest man in the world.
Just so you know, I didn't actually hear these questions in advance.
No.
It's off the top of my head.
No,
They are incredible.
honestly, I'd expect any other guest to be like, probably like my dog if it likes me.
Yeah.
Oh, I know my dog doesn't like me. My dog loves my kids and loves my wife. Me and her have we get along, but that's about it.
What would you ask your dog if you could?
Why do you keep barking all the time? Every time someone comes to the door, she's that size, looks like Toto out of The Wizard of Oz. And you'd swear burglars or assassins are coming in the door. Anytime anyone comes near the front door, she goes absolutely crazy.
Oh, the jellyfish thing's so good. I thought I'd ask pandas why they don't want to do it more.
Yeah?
Why they don't want to deal with more?
Why they don't want to do it more?
Because they're going...
They're not.
They're a bit rubbish, pandas.
Yeah,
but
they don't like
it
mating.
Doesn't help that the only thing they eat is basically impossible to digest. So
They got bad bellies, don't they?
Bad bellies. They've got low energy. That drives your intelligence down. That's why koalas are stupid as well. Because
Koalas are my favourite animal in the world.
Well, they have two things about them that are good and bad. One is their diet is eucalyptus, which is poisonous. So they sleep about 22 hours a day. But it means their farts smell like eucalyptus, which is a bonus. But they're also riddled with chlamydia.
Yeah.
Really, really, really. The whole population, it's a huge problem for them.
Really?
Yeah. They have massive sexually transmitted disease problems because the only thing the males do is eat, sleep, and shag. That's pretty much it.
That's your favourite animal.
It's weird because the koala I shag gave me syphilis.
I was going to ask, did I go too far with it?
You're good. Darragh, what would be your go-to fact in order to blow our minds?
Well, he's already hit us with so many.
I know.
I can go another one. So I'm going to do one from work. This is going to be it. So I used to work with fruit flies and we used to work on their brains. That's what we did. So I used to dissect out fruit fly brains. And one of the things that's weird about them is they're so like us. So if you mutate the gene in flies that causes Parkinson's in humans, the flies shake. And if you feed them the medicine you feed humans, the shaking stops.
No way.
And we haven't been in any way related to flies for tens of millions of years. So that has been held through brains and how nerves work all the way through evolution from insects to humans. And it's and even though it's not exactly the same, it works basically the same way.
I'm so glad that you didn't listen to our previous episode.
You've given us that fact at the weirdest time. Last week when we came in, just before a guest came in, we had a fruit fly infestation in this room. Yeah. And it was just, during the episode, they were just flying everywhere.
And
luckily,
he was swatting them. He was swatting them completely. It was
you have absolutely nothing compared to... I removed the brains from these things.
Oh, he's giving them Parkinson's.
I have like sacrificed thousands of them. I've removed the brains from literally thousands of them.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
they're tiny though.
Yeah, no, it's really hard.
What are you using?
So there's a scissors that's kind of like, instead of having it in your fingers, you press, and it's used for eye surgery. And we used to buy those.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were really expensive.
We've got a lot about bugs coming up. I'm going to get into it there. So we've got final two quick fires. Stevie, hit us again, number 5.
Who is your hero?
Who's my hero? I'm going to be really corny here and say my mum.
Wow.
It's a great answer.
My mom's great.
Yeah.
You know, she's really great. She is definitely where I get my brains from. She's brilliantly intelligent and was just a wonderful mother, held the whole family together. As you know, my dad wasn't well. He actually passed away recently and she looked after him for years. Definitely, absolute hero. Love my mum.
Lovely answer. And finally, have we got one ready as well?
Yeah.
Normally, Darragh, we have a big red button here.
Yeah.
We press it, it hits our bingo ball machine, and these are all questions submitted by our previous guests.
Okay.
We haven't read them yet.
Okay.
And
don't know what
sometimes
this is.
we're slightly embarrassed by what they ask, but we will see. It is random. We've pulled it out. We're not.
Does it say
stitching
who?
you up.
Who gave
Yes.
It should do. Yeah.
Excellent.
Who's this by?
By Vanessa
Frake Harris.
Frake Harris is our friend.
Yeah. So she is. People call her the governor. And she was, she's like the top dog at some of the biggest prisons in the country. She
Well, that makes sense with the question.
Oh, okay, right.
So the question is, do prisons work? So that's a very interesting question, but it depends on what you mean by work. So do they work as in separating people from the rest of society? They do that really well. You know, they're brilliant at that. That's effectively what they do. Big walls, cages for people. It kind of works in that respect. But do they work in preventing crime, making society better overall? I'd say really they don't.
Oh, really?
So for the vast majority of people who end up in prison makes them worse. You know, there's been loads of studies around the world where non-prison outcomes, where people get different types of sentences, actually are more likely to have productive lives afterwards if they don't end up in a classic style prison.
Right.
Because what happens is they end up in a place with loads and loads of like hardened criminals.
Yeah.
So for over half of the people who end up there, they don't work. But
Yeah.
if you do have, some people just need to be separated away. They're dangerous. They're brilliant at that. So in
Yeah.
that respect, they do work. But in the making society better, I don't think so.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. My dad told me a story that he grew up with someone who was completely anti-drugs, then went to prison and became a heroin addict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really common. Actually, one of the easiest places to get drugs, weirdly, is in prison. Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently this guy who, it's really sad, but the reason he started doing drugs because they call it a bird killer, because you've ever heard prison referred to as
Yeah.
doing bird, and then it's like you inject heroin and then that's like a day gone and a day gone and it's like in a second. So
Yeah, it's to kill the boredom.
yeah, 100%.
Like being on a celeb, like being on I'm a Celeb.
Yeah.
Basically, there's nothing to do. You just sit around all day.
Yeah, just get the heroin out.
I was saying, are they doing heroin on my celeb?
I think it's more rice and beans.
You get 10 stars on that. Okay, right, let's get rid of that. Darragh, you grew up in a place, if I'm going to butcher this pronunciation,
Yeah.
it was Rathcoole?
Rathcoole, yeah, that's it,
Rathcoole.
exactly. Great.
Okay, if Stevie and I did a tour of the UK and we popped off there, what should we do in Rathcoole?
Well, you wouldn't do a tour
No.
in the UK because it's in Ireland.
Yeah, okay.
As you were saying, I was going, come on, Jaack. Come on.
Okay, so Rathcoole is what was a very small village when I grew up and is now turned into a small town. There's not a huge amount to do there. It's on the outskirts of Dublin, so any big events don't happen there. But, you know, there's some nice places to eat. There's a few really nice pubs. You could go down to the Rathcoole Inn, have a sing-song, probably stay in late. No, they don't. The police are listening. You know, you could go into Kevin, have a really nice pint of Guinness, as good as it gets, up to the Putchy and Still, which is another pub, really nice restaurant. And then very nearby, there's lots of cool stuff. It's where basically most of the best race horses in the world live near there.
Oh, wow.
So all of the Arab sheikhs and the big Americans, their stud farms are all in and around that part of Ireland.
Oh, cool.
I actually went to school with Ruby Walsh, the jockey. So he was the champion jockey. So,
Oh, wow.
so if you're into horses,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
places, things like that to do. Yeah, there's plenty to do in and around, but in the village itself, it's just a place where people live. Really nice place to grow up, though.
I need to ask you as an Irishman,
Yeah.
I assume that you believe in this myth that Guinness is better in Ireland.
Oh, I don't drink Guinness in England.
Do you not?
No, it's terrible.
See, I
You called it a myth then as well.
Yeah, I called it a myth because I went to.
Most places, it's terrible. There are some pubs where it's really good and like genuinely great Guinness, but 90% of pubs in England don't do it properly.
How do you find them?
I got taken to one in Liverpool, a place called the Lutein Bell, which is in a slightly sort of less salubrious area of the city. And if you looked at it from the outside, you wouldn't say it's anything special. But the local said, no, this is the best pint of Guinness in Liverpool. And it really was. It was great.
Who did we ask before about this? They were teaching us on here. It was
Meatball Molly.
It was the two Johnnies.
Oh, and Meatball Molly was telling us about her Guinness because she's Scouse.
Yeah.
So
What? She was saying it was good.
she loved the Guinness, didn't she?
What do you want from a Guinness?
Well, it has to be poured properly.
Okay.
I've been to places where they pour it like, soft drinks in McDonald's. They press a button and it fills up to the top and overflows.
Right.
It has to have a head that's about that thick.
Yeah.
It has to be a finger's width thick. It has to be creamy. The pipes have to be cleaned properly, which is another thing that seems foreign here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it has to be the right temperature. It's not wildly complicated, but just so many places here get it really wrong.
What's the right temperature? Not cold, not super cold.
It should be like fridge cold. It shouldn't be icy cold. So it should be 4, 5, 6 degrees, something like that.
Okay.
It should never be warm. Not the weird obsession that England has with warm, flat beer kills me. Like, I have so many people who are really snobby about it, and they're like, our home venue that I quiz in the Blackbird in Oxford, and our home venue doesn't have real ale, and there's loads of guys, because it's in Oxford, they're like, oh, do we not have real ale? I'm like, no, nobody, like, how could you possibly think that warm flat beer with sediment at the bottom is a good idea?
Doesn't Guinness have bits at the bottom though?
No.
What? No wonder you're drinking bad Guinness.
Definitely you're drinking bad Guinness.
I had a Guinness in a place in Cromer a couple of weeks ago. It was awful. It was awful. It was fizzy.
Oh, it shouldn't be fizzy. It should be creamy.
Yeah.
Don't they say Guinness doesn't travel well as well? Because there's only one distillery, isn't it?
Oh no, there's multiple around the world. There used to be one in the UK,
Dublin.
in Pall Mall, was it?
All right.
But I don't think they brew it there anymore. The biggest Guinness brewery in the world, it's either after Dublin or ahead of Dublin, is in Nigeria.
Oh.
And Nigerian Guinness is mental because it's like 11.5%.
I've heard about
yeah.
this. Yeah, didn't someone say it was? Oh, it's got a name, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be. It might be the second biggest one, but it's like a huge drink in Nigeria.
Yeah,
like absolutely massive. Everybody drinks it.
My dad was saying that he went to the Guinness factory. Not him. His friend went to the Guinness factory and tried some of this like African Guinness. And the guy shat himself in the factory.
It's basically it's nearly a liqueur. It's so alcoholic.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. Wow. Blows the head off.
I want to try
We'll have to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to get it on here and taste it. But it's really like you can really taste. When you get like a special brew or something where it's really strong, you can really, really taste the alcohol in it. It's a bit much for me.
I quite like it, I think.
See if we can get some for the 500th episode.
That would be good. That would be good. Darragh, what were you like at school? Have you always been smart?
Always been smart, but a terrible student. So I got my school reports were good grades, bad comments. That was how my report was tilted.
Well, like a smart, naughty kid.
I was just bored and I did nothing. There was 31 children in my primary school class, and for 3 years I was the one who sat alone because I was just bored and I used to distract other people.
Was it boredom because you found things too easy to grasp?
Yeah, it's way too easy. It was like, or teachers are hamstrung. They have to work to the speed of the slowest student.
Yeah.
And I was just bored, genuinely bored. And then in secondary school, I was really cheeky and just didn't really do very much work.
Right.
I was woken up by my biology teacher in a class once, and he told me off and then asked me something about what he'd been teaching while I was asleep, and I gave him the answer, which was the most annoying part of it for him, just because I knew.
Yeah, that would have really annoyed him.
But what I don't understand is you see these kids in like the first sort of years of their sort of education, and they know the stuff already. Where are they getting that from? Where did you get that knowledge from?
I read the book in like a week. While teachers are sort of like, taking it slow, I would sit there and just read through the book and then it'd be in there. So I'd remember most of it.
You're reading it at a faster pace than
well, like if you really had to sit down and read like an A-level textbook, it's a couple of 100 pages long and you really put time into it. You do it in a few hours, like 6, 7, 8 hours, however fast a reader you are. So that's only 10 classes.
When you read something, and this is going to really sound like a stupid question, but does that information does that stay in there?
Depends on the information.
Right.
If I can make it interesting, it stays. So if you can build a sort of a map around it in your head.
What do you mean by that? Can you?
So the Speaker of the House of Commons.
Yeah.
His name is Lindsay Hoyle.
Okay.
Right. I actually met him. He's a nice fella. Mm-hmm. But if you put a D in the middle of his name, it's linseed oil.
That's
so
good.
in 2 weeks, if someone asks you who the Speaker of the House of Commons is, you'll go, oh, Lindsay Hoyle.
Yeah, we won't forget that now.
Yeah, it sticks in your head. It's like, the mnemonics, my very easy method just sums up.
Yeah.
If you link facts together. So I remembered the address to here because of, where it is in London, linked it to football, and I didn't need to check it again.
Really?
Yeah, because I built a picture in my head. It was two little ducks playing in Arsenal's home ground.
Oh,
That's so good.
That's really good.
Because I've always thought I could learn loads if I could put them into song lyrics.
Yeah, that's
because I
one way
remember
to do it.
lyrics so well.
Yeah.
If I could create and I guess that's why they have the bones of the body in the
Yeah.
song, because you then
Makes it
remember
easier,
it.
yeah. You just have to make it interesting to yourself. And if you connect facts together, so the more you learn, you can link them to each other and you can build a map around them. So if you're learning the dates that people are alive, you learn who else is alive at the same time and you stitch them all together. So Genghis Khan and King John were alive at the same time. And King John signed Magna Carta in 1215, very famous date. So that means Genghis Khan was around in the 13th century.
That's so smart. See, I'd get it wrong though. I'd get the memory bit wrong.
Yeah.
So if you said to me who's the Speaker in the House of Commons, I'd go rapeseed oil or olive oil, or do you know what I mean?
But you'd know it's an oil and then you'd keep going through it. Bryony Page won trampolining gold. This is one because I have to learn the Team GB athletes because they come up in quizzes.
Right.
And she does flips, so she turns over and you turn a page over. So Bryony Page. And that's how I remember her name. And that's how I remember what event she does. So and they can be stupid things that only mean something to you.
Right.
And that's just how you do it.
That's a common memory technique because I've heard that
Really
before.
common,
There's the guy. Do you know? Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Who's the guy with the squeaky voice? Who's a bit of like a comedian?
Nick Mohammed.
Yes. Yeah. Have you seen the 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown clip where he brings his kid on?
Yeah.
And he shuffles a deck of cards, but there's like 50 animals, so it'll be leopard, elephant, spider, whatever. He reads them out randomly, and then the kid recites what he's just said backwards and remembers the whole thing. And I think that the technique for that is creating a story with the animal. But that's still super impressive.
It is. There's a great book about it called Moonwalking with Einstein. And a journalist, just a normal guy, entered into the world memory competition and ended up doing okay. He didn't win it or anything.
Yeah.
He sort of came after a year of practice and stuff. It's not beyond anybody. And pretty much anybody could learn to memorize lists. They're not that hard.
I remember
There's ways to
seeing
do it.
an interview with someone who said that he always pictures like his memory. He has to walk through his house and it'll be like, if I got to remember King of Hearts, I'll be here and I'll remember this because of this. And because he's picturing his own house, which he knows so well, it was really easy to remember where items are, and then that's how he remembered the list of things.
Yeah, so you do them as you go, okay, there's a king holding his heart at the bottom of the stairs, and then there's 9 golf clubs beside him because that's the 9 of clubs, and you go up that way, and you learn different ways of doing it.
So have you been doing this since school? So as you're reading these textbooks, are you...
Not consciously, I did it kind of by mistake. Like I said, I'm terrible at everything. I'm really, really bad. I can't sing. I can't dance. I have no creativity. I can't paint, any of that kind of stuff. I'm like literally the worst footballer ever born. My dad saw me play twice, and the first time he went to see me play, he came down and said to my mother, if they were shooting footballers, he'd live forever. I am literally the worst. Like the worst.
That's so good.
I'm so bad at all this stuff. If there was 12 people, I was the sub. That was the level we were at. But when it comes to remembering stuff, I just find it easy. And I find it weird that other people don't.
But then I guess we have that. Like, I've always found it weird when I play football with someone and they can't kick the ball right.
Right.
I've always because I've grown up playing football. I find it so simple. When I then see someone kick it weird, I'm thinking, how is that not just ingrained in you?
Yeah.
Oh, I played in Canada. I lived there for 3 years. And
You're probably the best player, aren't you?
Well, I wasn't the best player because there was other non-nationals. But like compared to Canadians, I was a decent player, and I was literally the worst player here.
Yeah.
But then I went ice skating, and I couldn't ice skate, and they're like, "What do you mean you can't ice skate? Everyone can," because they don't even remember learning to ice skate. And it's like falling over.
Wow. Well, what did you want to be when you was a young lad?
I'm going to be really weird here. I wanted to be a biologist. I actually lived my dream. I wanted to be a marine biologist, actually, but I wanted to be a scientist. But I was really little.
You're asleep in the classes going, I really want to do this. But
I wanted to do it for a living. I just didn't want to listen to teachers. I was awful. I was truly awful. I did a fundraiser for my school last year, and I went, and some of my old teachers were at it, and I went and I apologized to every single one of them. I was horrible. If my children behaved like I behaved in school, I would murder them.
But do you feel like there was a chance that other kids in your class being slow was going to hold you back, though?
Never really thought of it.
Because you just got on with it on your own?
I also didn't value it. I didn't care. Until I went to university, I didn't really care about education. I just went because I kind of had to. I wasn't really interested in it. I wasn't driven by it. And then, I just kind of drifted. I drifted into university. A lot of stuff happened to me by accident. My brothers and my sister get really mad about this. It's like, you know, if I fell into a sewer, I'd come out with a gold watch. Kind of. I ended up on TV by mistake. You know.
I think you make your own luck though, don't you?
Yeah.
Like,
I just roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And little decisions make big differences.
Right.
You know, like, and tiny little things that happen make big differences. So, yeah, I just got lucky. Everybody does.
what makes you, as a child, want to be a biologist then? What do you think?
Well, I was always a nerd. I was
Okay.
always bookish. I always read all of the time. There was 7 people in my house, small house, so I used to sit at the bottom of the stairs reading. At Christmas time, birthdays, I got books. That's what I wanted. At one point, before I had children, I had 2 jobs and stuff. I was reading 2 or 3 books a week. I was one of the weirdos on the train reading a book with pages.
Are these like fiction books or educational books?
Everything. So right now I'm reading one about maps, about 12 maps that changed the world, or 12 maps, something like that. It's about like the history of map making, because I just find that stuff interesting. I'll read fiction one day. I'll read history. Love history.
I've read one about a proper hungry caterpillar. Eats loads. Yeah, it's good. You'll get to that level.
That book is mad. Right? There's some children's books that you just look at and go, 50 million copies of that have been sold.
Yeah.
Like, and it's pretty rubbish. You know, it's not, the story's terrible.
Don't spoil the ending. I'm not got that yet.
But like, you know, there's loads of kids' books that people just, for some reason, get nostalgic about. And like, when you analyze them and you read them, some kids' books are great. They're really interesting and funny, and they've got great rhymes and pictures and stuff. But some of them are just horrible.
You've written a book, haven't you?
Yes, I have, but it's not a kid's book. It's a science book for normal people.
Oh, what's it called?
It's called The Body, 10 Things You Should Know. So it's about the human body, but it's not technical. It's for people who haven't done science since GCSE, don't want to be bombarded with like technological language, but actually want to know how their body works. So
have you, because you're obviously a very intellectual guy, have you had to sort of like step it down a few levels to speak to us?
Well, there's different ways that you write. So I was an academic for a long time. I was in the University of Oxford for like 15 years. And when you're writing things for that, you have to write very technically, you know.
Right.
But if I'm talking to someone on the bus about what I do, that's how I wrote the book.
Okay.
So I wrote it in a completely conversational tone.
Yeah.
And I talked as if you were explaining it to, you know, your aunt and uncle at Christmas, what you do for a living, which I did a lot of. And my boss, so I worked for a guy called Ilan Davis, and he had this thing where everybody in his lab had to learn what he called an elevator pitch about their science, where you had to explain in layman's terms in 60 seconds what you do for a living.
Okay.
And he videoed us doing it.
Right.
And everybody was terrible. Everybody was really, really bad. They were all and getting caught up. And every time they did a technical language, he'd go, no, you have to cut it down.
Right.
So you learn to do it. And then I just made an entire sort of book out of that.
So what would be your elevator pitch for your book?
So my elevator pitch is, this is the story of the human body from one cell all the way through to 30 trillion. Everything that happens in it, from your senses to, you know, how we grow, how we use energy, and what happens to our body when we die. And it's all done in a way that your auntie could read it and get it.
Could I read it and get it?
Absolutely.
Wow. Can I get a copy?
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to read it? You got to finish the caterpillar first.
I'll make it my first book, my second book after the caterpillar. Because I think you're the first guest we've ever had on it. When I was researching you, I've actually got it here now. I read your Wikipedia, and it says your bit about your education. And even when I have it here in front of me now, I don't understand it. So I'm just going to try and read it now. So your Wikipedia says you have a PhD in ecology, a BSc in biology. You worked as a biomedical scientist as well as a research technician in the Department of Biochemistry at the University of Oxford. And this is my favourite bit, where you studied researching the brains of insects.
Yes.
That's the only bit I get.
Yeah. Well, I just have degrees and stuff. I just never left school. So even though I was like a bad student and bored, when I went to university, it suddenly got interesting.
Right.
And I was there for 10 years. So I stayed. I did biology. I really liked it. And then again, by accident, I ended up doing a PhD. So my friend Nadine got the flu in fourth year, just as they were about to go on a field trip, and it was really short notice, so I went in her place, and it was an ecology field trip. I hadn't planned on doing ecology at all. Had a brilliant time, like really, really liked it. Went out to the west of Ireland with Professor Downs and Professor Griffin, who ended up being my boss, and just had a whale of a time. Did my 4th-year project in their lab. Then while we were doing field work, which was all on insects, we were digging up tree stumps in the mountains in Ireland, and to get the insects out of them, one of the people who worked in the lab said, "Hey Bones," which is my nickname, "do you want to do a PhD?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And I ended up doing a PhD.
So obviously you've got your book coming out, which is all about our bodies and humans, but you've also got all of this PhD in insects and stuff. How is that like learning that's two different things, isn't it? Or is there a lot of crossover with that?
No, so there is a lot of crossover. Okay. So, quite a lot of how our cells work is basically the same. That's conserved over history. How we get energy and all that kind of thing. And if it's not exactly the same, it's similar enough to get. Mm-hmm. But the level that this book is written at is the stuff that I did for like my degree. It's stuff I did in school. It's not very high level technical stuff. When you do a PhD, when you go into postdoctoral research, your field is so narrow. Like we were looking at like single molecules moving around in like inside nerves, literal single molecules at a time using really fancy microscopes. But we narrowed right down to studying just a couple of genes. And that's what happens. You become like mega specialized. The broad stuff that everybody can understand, it's from a long time ago, but it's still there. It's still universal knowledge. And I did some research. I looked stuff up.
I would love to have your brain for a day. I would love to know what you know.
I'd love to be able to kick a football properly. Maybe we could swap.
We don't want his brain then. But when you're at university, you're then surrounded by more like-minded people. Did you then find it more engaging in the classes, or was there still a bit of you thinking, I already know this?
No, it was well beyond the scope of what I knew. It was much faster paced. It was multiple subjects, and I wasn't good at all of them. So computer science, terrible at it. I cannot code. I just can't get my head around it. And I tried for 2 years. My brain doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. So that was a real struggle. Maths, I almost failed because I went from getting like A's in maths to doing university maths, and we switched to calculus, and I struggled really badly. But a good friend of mine now, he was my tutor then, basically got me over the line. Right. Here on Mackin Ward, you are a hero.
I don't think he's listened to this.
He will be, yeah. So he got me over the line and in first year, and then I picked it up. So I really struggled. First year was tough. But then I was able to, I did chemistry as well, and I wasn't great at chemistry. I was okay at it, but so I was able to drop a few subjects. And when I got down to just biology and maths and I could focus on those, I did really well, yeah.
So what was it about insects that you really wanted to know?
So initially, when I did my PhD, I was trying to kill them. So what we were doing was we were trying to use non-chemical ways to control insects. Right. So using biological means to kill insect pests. So the ones we were working on were called the large pine weevil, and they breed in pine stumps and other conifer stumps, and they come out. And farmers, when they cut down trees, plant new ones beside them. So they go, oh, here's a snack. And they eat the seedlings, basically. And they do massive damage. So they routinely spray fairly nasty chemicals to kill them.
Right.
So we were using a biological agent, this little tiny microscopic worm that's found naturally in the soil, applying hundreds of millions of them to like the stumps. And that would kill the insects before they came out. And we were trying to figure out which ones were the best ones to use, best application methods. So it was really applied.
Yeah.
You can actually buy them now. So if you have... little black flies in your pot plants at home, you can buy them and you put them in your watering can. They come in like powder because they're so small, and you just pour them in and it really effectively kills them.
And the benefit of trying to find these new techniques and methods, is that so that we can stop like spraying shit on our food?
That was the idea, yeah. Right. And to reduce chemical load. And a lot of the pesticides get banned, so you have to have new ones coming out, and they're untested really. And just generally, I was a bit of a hippie when I was younger, better for the environment, better for everybody. But the growers didn't really want to take it on. But it has been taken on in other areas. So greenhouses use them a lot. A lot of people use them at home. So yeah, and like I use them in my house, like I said, to get rid of flies in my potted plants.
But back at that time of your life, were there all unusual things in your house and your uni dorm and insects and stuff like that?
No, so we had a lab, so we kept everything in there, but there was really unusual stuff in there. So people like my wife and I did our PhD in the same department. So they used to come along to our talks, not because of, the advanced science, but just to see what crazy things we did.
Right.
So I used a sewing machine more than a lab coat because we used to make insect tents to trap insects coming out, and we had to contain the stump. So you could come in and see me like sewing up like hundreds and hundreds of these little tiny black tents.
Little glass stove for ants.
Oh, the worst glass stove ever. And so I'd use that, or we'd have to make things out of plastic and all that kind of thing, because we were very low budget as well, because nobody cares about ecology, you know.
Right.
So, you know, all the medical stuff got millions. We would get, you know, thousands, and we'd have to eke it out. So yeah, I learned lots of skills, but there was some really funky looking stuff.
I read online something about you said you had to wake up at like 3 a.m. and shake bottles of
Oh
worms.
yeah, that was horrific. So because we were applying these in water and they're living things, if you leave them for long enough, they settle to the bottom and they suffocate essentially. So you had to mix them up to get air into the solution. And they were really, really heavy bottles. They were like 5 and 6 litre bottles. So you couldn't put them on a shaker. We had hundreds of them. So everybody had to take turns of coming in every 3 hours or every 4 hours to shake them. And I brought in a sleeping bag and slept on the floor of the lab, but security caught me and kicked me out. So I had to go home, sleep for 2 hours, get up, shake the bottles, come back.
Oh wow! What were you trying to learn with the worms in the bottle?
They were the ones that kill the insects.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're microscopic. So we came up with a solution though. So eventually we just tilted the bottles and put an aquarium pump with the stone that bubbles up.
Yeah.
And that bubbled everything up and kept them in solution, because, you know, we weren't going in for another year to shake the bottle. So we applied a scientific method to fix them.
God, it's fascinating, isn't it?
So good.
I see. That's why I couldn't do it,
What, waking up at 3 a.m.?
because I'd just be like, nah, fuck it.
That's not the real crushing thing about science is, for the vast majority of the time, it doesn't work.
Right.
So you try things over and over, just changing one tiny thing at a time to get it to work properly and consistently. And it's soul destroying. Sometimes I spent 11 months trying an experiment that I ended up just having to abandon.
What was the
Didn't work.
experiment?
Was trying to see how closely related the different strains of worms that we had were, to see if the populations were interbreeding. But it turned out the two that I was trying to test were different species. So yeah, so I couldn't understand why they weren't doing. And then the method to do it it's laughably out of date now, because you just sequence stuff now and it just works. But in those days, it was fairly early on in genetic sequencing, and it was really expensive. So you had to do this other molecular method, and nothing I did made it work. It was heartrending.
So what he's saying there is, nah, fuck it. Doesn't really work when you're doing a PhD.
11 and a half months I did that, and I ended up getting like 11 pages or 12 pages in my thesis, just one little chapter, basically saying why it didn't work, how much I tested it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it meant that the person after me didn't have to do it.
What's your favourite insect?
My favourite insect has to be the fruit fly. I loved working with fruit flies. They're brilliant to work with. I know everybody hates them in their house, but in the lab, they're perfect. They're really like keeping pine weevils in the lab is a nightmare. Keeping fruit flies is dead easy.
What does a pine weevil look like? So I can
It's
imagine
like
that.
a fairly large black beetle with orange spots, big long nose, and its antennae are on the end of its nose.
Right. Okay. And going back to the fruit flies, you have to remove their brains, right?
Yeah, with a scissors, a really small scissors.
So you've got your microscope.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's so much I want to know, but I don't have to formulate the question. So there's a fly there. And that's are you holding that in a little?
So we were working with larvae, so little maggots of them. So they're caterpillars essentially.
So even smaller than a fly.
No, larvae tend to be
Baby
bigger
fly.
than the adults.
Do they?
At the biggest stage, the pupae tend to be, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
But they were about the same size. So, you know, a few millimeters long. And then you put them in water, and it's kind of horrific. If you did it to a rabbit, you'd be arrested. But, you know, they're a lower animal. They don't experience trauma like the higher animals do. You pin them down to like this sort of rubbery stuff on the bottom, and then you just cut them with scissors and remove the brain.
What does the brain look like?
There's no nice way of saying this.
Go on.
It looks almost exactly like a cock and balls. Look it up. Do Drosophila or fruit fly larval brain. Almost exactly. And like, honestly, that was one of the first things when they were doing diagrams. It says, there's no other way of looking at this. It's 2 optical lobes and a big long ventral nerve cord.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I asked that question.
Wow. And then so and you really need to dumb this down for us.
Yeah.
You get the brain out.
Yeah.
What are you doing then with that brain?
So what we're doing is the brain already has been mutated with genes from jellyfish that glow in the dark. So this is a common thing. It's called green fluorescent protein, and there's multiple different ones. And you can tag any protein you like with that, so you can see it under a microscope. So if you want to see where a protein is, you just tag it with GFP, and then when you put a fire laser on it, it emits a green dot, and you can see it. So they're already in it, and then we'd label RNA, which is one half of the DNA strand, little section that makes the protein. So we'd label that with other colors, and we'd look at multiple colors at once, seeing where the protein is, where the RNA is, and how all of that is controlled at the ends of nerves, basically. So we're trying to understand, okay, when you make a memory, it happens really quickly.
Yeah.
So if you remember me walking into this studio, that's already wired into your brain. Because your short-term memory is really short.
Right.
And that means that something has changed in your brain. There's been a structural change in your brain somewhere. A synapse has grown, a connection has been made.
Right.
But that's quicker than it's possible to make the proteins needed to make that synapse. So when your cells need to make proteins, it takes longer than that. So we're going, how could this happen? Because a nerve cell is really long and thin. Nucleus is down one end. The transport alone would take hours, never mind minutes. So we and other people have sort of hypothesized that it's all done right at the end really quickly. And to do that, you need to have the RNA, which is the instructions from your DNA to make that protein there. So we were looking for which RNAs were sitting at the end of these synapses. So that would give you an idea of which ones are involved in new synapse growth, which would mean you'd know which ones are involved in memory formation and memory loss. So it's trying to narrow down which gene is needed to make a memory.
And the bigger picture of doing that on a fruit fly is
to in 20 years, when someone's doing it on mice or human cells, they can go, okay, what's been done already? You go, oh, in flies, it's this. The equivalent genes in human is this one. Let's look it down. So we were able to do literally thousands of different genes using vast numbers of animals. You can't do that on a higher, it costs too much. It's ethically wrong.
Right.
So we're able to narrow the choice down.
Yeah.
We're going to go, these 10 out of the 2,000 that we studied are of interest. And then people can go, okay, we'll take those 10 and we'll study them in mice. So it can reduce, all science leans on each other.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you go, what's been done already? Where's the gap? So we narrow those gaps right down for people who might be studying for disease understanding, targets for new drugs, that kind of thing.
Science is incredible, isn't it?
And it happens like we're not the first step. There's yeast cells do it as well. It's like it all leads into each other.
And is this so we eventually know how to help humans?
Yeah. Well, when you hear of a new drug being developed, it's usually developed against a protein, usually, not always, but usually. And that research has to come from somewhere. They have to know what that protein does. So it can help animals, humans, and just general understanding. I did it so we'd know what was going on. I didn't really want to go down the medical route.
So morally, where do you stand on like tests? Because a fruit fly, no one cares if you test on a fruit fly. But if there was like, and again, we are sorry for putting these so stupidly like these.
No, that's all right.
But like, you wouldn't just get a healthy dog and go, let's take the brain out. And
No,
work on
of course
it.
not.
So, but where's the difference there for you?
So fruit flies, as far as we know, their brains have only about 10,000 neurons. We've got billions.
Okay.
So their brains are not complicated enough to have severe trauma, to have emotions as we know them.
Right. Okay.
So while they do feel pain, and they do, I think that is a low enough level of organism where doing massive scale research is okay for me.
Okay, got you.
But once you get to the point where we know the animal can experience real, genuine trauma, we do have to use them, but it should be minimized, absolutely minimized. So all other methods should be used first.
Right.
And then you use a very, very minimal amount of mammalian and even like human subjects. You're not going to remove the brain from a human, but you can minimize the number of people who need to test the drug, all of that kind of thing. So it's all about reduction in the numbers of higher organisms for me.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
That got serious for a bit, didn't it?
I love it. I love it. So that's your favourite insect. I guess the natural question there is, what's your least favourite?
Everybody's least favourite insect, and it should be, is the mosquito.
Yeah.
It's killed more people than literally anything else. War has nothing on mosquitoes.
Wow.
Literally the number one killer of humans, even including other humans, is the mosquito. Not directly, of course, but it transmits parasites. And they're a pain.
Yeah. Did you do much research on them or not really?
No. So there was a lab that did, and the professor, he said before they came up with a way of feeding them, you used to, as an intern or as a junior student, you used to have to feed them. So they'd be in a jar with like a membrane, and you'd have to put your arm over it and they'd bite you. It was the only way to get the females to lay eggs was to take blood.
So you just
back in the day they used to do it, and you'd see their mouthpieces piercing the thing as they tried to get you, and you go,
no,
Getting itchy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you think your job is rubbish,
Yeah, if you fuck up on it. So, mate, what we all know you from The Chase.
Yeah.
Massively, probably the most popular quiz show on TV. Would you say?
Probably say it is, yeah.
I can't think of anything that even comes close. But what did you do jobs wise before that? So from leaving education, before we all saw you on Chase, what filled that time?
Okay, so I had a lot of jobs when I was in school. I used to work in a petrol station washing cars and stuff. I worked in a pub for a very brief period and got fired, which wasn't fun. I went to my brother's wedding, had told the assistant manager I was going, and then got fired for not showing up on the day of my brother's wedding, which I thought was a bit harsh. I've worked, my dad used to work in printing. I used to work folding Christmas cards during my summer holidays on a folding machine. Nothing quite like folding 1 million Christmas cards in July with a machine gun thing that sounds like a machine gun.
July makes it so much worse.
Yeah,
you can't
is.
even get into to the festive spirit.
It was awful. But you know, I needed the money.
Yeah.
I've worked in lots of different places like that, you know, shops and things. I worked in a sports shop for years when I was a student at the weekends. That was fun, actually. I liked working there. And then once I left school, I went to work in a company called Icon. So they're a big pharmaceutical biomedical company. Their headquarters is in Dublin, and I worked in the delightfully named infectious diseases lab as a sort of biochemist and a technician, and I absolutely hated it. Nice people, but I just didn't like it. So I went from my crazy ecology background where we're sewing and we're designing our own experiments to a really rigid protocol, because obviously it's medical testing, it has to be very strict.
Yeah.
And it was all things done a very particular way. I had no leeway, and it drove me nuts.
What were you trying to find out there?
No, we weren't trying to find out anything. We were testing samples of people who are on clinical trials. Oh, okay. So we were doing independent testing for that.
So I'm picturing like hazmat suits because infectious diseases.
No. It was white coats and gloves and stuff. It wasn't like Ebola. It was just, you know, urine and blood samples basically. So you were just running them through different tests. It was really dull. It wasn't my thing at all.
With knowledge as vast as yours is, when you see things like obviously COVID happened and now there's the whole monkeypox thing, does your brain kind of go a million miles an hour with that thought, or do you just go, it's probably not that much of a...
No, it happens. Pandemics happen. You know, there's not...
I don't think we understood that.
There's not. Yeah, we were kind of overdue one.
Yeah.
You know, they usually happen every sort of few decades, and they hadn't had a really big one since the early 20th century, since 1918. So, since the Spanish flu. So they happen. You know, we had lots of potential ones like SARS and bird flu and stuff that could have taken off but didn't.
Yeah.
They still killed a lot of people, but, you know, they didn't go global. So we were just overdue one.
Is monkeypox something you're worried about?
I'm not worried about it, but I wouldn't want to get it. It looks awful.
Right.
Like, it's in the same way that lots of diseases are terrible, you know?
And again, we keep saying it, but as a smart person, when you see people online who like rubbish the vaccine, how how does that make you feel?
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I know people who basically wrecked their lives to make that vaccine in Oxford. I personally know people who worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
They were working overnight and in shifts and everything. They literally saved millions of lives. And then you get congenital idiots, and it's rare I say stupid. These people are not just stupid, they're willfully stupid.
Yeah.
They're embracing stupidity and feeling superior about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking because we're having comebacks of diseases that we had kind of beaten.
Right.
Like measles is coming back. Measles is a really dangerous disease. Everyone thinks you just get a few spots. It can really damage you long term. It can make you deaf and all. Oh, that's mumps. It can do all sorts of stuff. Mumps as well is coming back because people have stopped taking vaccines.
Because of these...
Because of cranks. And it was all based on one individual who I'm not going to name because he doesn't deserve the publicity, but one individual was essentially bribed to say the MMR vaccine was dangerous and they should take a different vaccine. He wasn't saying vaccines were rubbish. He was trying to sell a new one.
Oh. But that was enough for people to
go, that's definitely it. And it's just snowballed.
So fucking dangerous.
If you look at graveyards, old graveyards, you look pre-vaccines and look at the age of people who are buried. Children are buried up until vaccines come along.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. When smallpox was around, the first vaccine came out against smallpox. When smallpox was around, you were more likely to get a job if you had smallpox scars because you were immune, because it was that dangerous.
Wow.
It's bonkers. And now we're suddenly we're basically throwing ourselves off a cliff that we've built for ourselves. It's not even just that you can just leave them alone, because you need a certain amount of people to protect the people who can't get vaccines. You have to have herd immunity. You have to have a large enough amount of the population. If enough people don't get it, then genuinely normal people who can't get vaccines or the vaccines don't work for will get sick. It's phenomenal. The moon landing deniers, nutters the lot to a man. Yeah. I posted up a thing. I do an On This Day in History one where it was about, one of the things was the moon landing, and the amount of people are like, oh, I thought you were smart. Feel so superior. These like keyboard warriors who know nothing, who believe some guy who lives in his basement, his mother's basement in America, who's definitely right, but NASA is lying to you. It's like the validity of their sources. Just think.
Yeah.
And genuinely, if you're looking at an argument and you go, okay, there's a series of experts, 99% of scientists say this, or 1% of scientists say maybe not, generally go with the 99%.
Yeah.
Might well be the 1% guy is right, but chances are he's not. And to be honest, it's always a he. It's never a woman.
Wow. Yeah. Just absolute nutters saying all that, because a lot of the arguments is, this footballer's had a heart attack and he got the vaccine. It's like, footballers have been having heart attacks for years.
Yeah.
Like Mark Vivian Foe was a West Ham footballer that passed away before COVID was a thing.
Fabrice Muamba.
The numbers are just like staggeringly against their argument. Like, if you look at people who were vaccinated versus people who weren't.
Yeah.
And if you take into account their age, because they always don't do that, because older people are more likely to die from COVID. It's like orders of magnitude. It's hundreds of times more likely to get really sick or to die.
Yeah.
It's not even small. It's not even close.
Right.
But truth and evidence is nothing to these people, because if they actually looked at evidence and they did it with an open mind, they would not hold the position they're in.
No.
And we need to stop taking them seriously. We need to laugh at them. I called them congenital idiots. If you hold a laughable position, you should be laughed at.
This is the thing as well, like often in the job that we do, Stevie, where we rely on having an audience, we're often told sit on the fence about certain things. Like people will kick off at us saying this, but if you don't believe in vaccines, we don't really want you listening to the show anyway, because you're a nutter. You did score some great goals for Southampton though, so that's...
Chances are if they don't believe in vaccines, they won't be with us for very long.
But they won't get autism either. So there's that.
Yeah.
Not a transmittable disease. And that's another weird thing, isn't it? Oh, I'd rather die than be autistic. What an awful take.
Yeah.
What an awful take.
Yeah.
Anne Hegarty on The Chase is autistic.
Yeah.
If you go, would you rather be the governess or dead? That's an easy choice. That's a binary choice. And just go, well, you know. She's doing all right.
Yeah, I'll be this really smart, successful woman, thank you. Yeah. Darragh, what's your IQ?
Don't know, don't care.
I love that so much. Yeah. We spoke briefly before the show about Mensa as well. So one of our co-hosts is part of Mensa.
He doesn't let us forget it, Darragh.
Yeah, it's a club for people who like taking tests. It's not, IQ is really overrated as a thing. If you're good at IQ tests, you'll have a high IQ. That's just how it is. Some people I know, genuinely brilliant people, would struggle at them because they try their best to make them universal tests, but they're not universal tests. Also, a lot of people don't realise that 100 is average. That's literally the point of IQ. 100 is average, but it's only average for the location. It's different depending on where you are. There's world IQ, there's probably a UK IQ, there's probably regional IQs. The centre might have an IQ. They only work with the data that they have. So if you're in the middle, if you're exactly in the middle, you're 100. That's it. So if you've got an IQ of 100, that means you are the average person as far as the test can discern. But what if you're the kind of person who just gets frustrated taking tests? What if you're like on the spectrum, you go, this is a lot of bollocks. Towards the end, you just skip a few or you get bored or you start writing things in.
Yeah.
That doesn't measure your intelligence. What about emotional intelligence, social intelligence? It's nonsense. All of it's nonsense. I don't rate it at all. So I've never bothered doing one.
There we go. But I guarantee you'd have a bigger IQ than we would. So
I'm really good at taking tests.
Okay, so it's the test.
It's a test, and it's not a test of knowledge usually. So that'd be where if it was a trivia test, I would absolutely smash you guys because it's literally my job.
Yeah.
But like IQ test, I would assume I'd do okay, but I don't really want to. It seems like a waste of my time.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I found in quizzing, competitive quizzing, so people who take it really mega serious, is that when you go to the events, I went to one and it's a test. It's literally a paper that you sit down for like an hour and you fill out lots of questions. And I love quizzes, but I love pub quizzes. I love quiz shows. I don't like doing tests. I left school a long time ago. I don't want to do tests anymore.
You like the fun element.
Yeah, some people, and I'm actually not that good at them. In relative terms, I would be very mid-level if I did
Really?
tests. Yeah, because you have to train. You have to do the type of questions that come up on them. You have to get practice at the tests. If I dedicated myself to it, I'm reasonably sure I could get into like well into the top half kind of thing. But like Paul Sinha was number one in Britain. And he worked at that. Like him and his husband like did flashcards, worked, did loads of tests. He genuinely aimed at getting it.
Number one at what? Sorry,
A quiz. Yeah, he was the number one ranked quizzer in Britain.
Oh, okay.
For a year, yeah. So, but like that's something you have to like really go for most people. You have to go, I am going to get good at these quizzes.
Right.
Because, and IQ tests are the same. I guarantee you, if you did one IQ test now and then spent 2 months doing IQ tests, by the end, your IQ would be 30 or 40 points higher. Because you're good at the test. You know what to expect. And that in itself shows that it's nonsense. It's not a measure of intelligence.
So when they're always going like, Einstein's IQ was this, it's kind
They
of
don't
like,
know.
why did you, I was going to say, did he ever sit and take
I'm
an
not
IQ
sure he
test?
did. Like, I'm not sure he did. Someone stole his brain, though.
It was you with the fruit.
Oh, I wish I could. No, someone literally nicked his brain.
Did they?
Yeah, after he died. His family had to apply to get it back. Somebody took, after he died, in his autopsy, they stole his Einstein's
Wow.
brain. True story.
Did they get it back?
I think they did in the end, but like, yeah, someone literally nicked his brain.
You mentioned at the start of the show that you're in a pub quiz team.
Yeah.
That's mental to me.
We're
Sorry.
bottom of the league, just so you know.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
What fucking pub is this?
The Blackbird in Oxford.
Oh, he's in Oxford.
Because I was going to say, you should not be allowed in a pub quiz.
Oh, no, nothing. Well, a couple of things. One is that the average age of this pub quiz, and quite a lot of pub quiz leagues, is well over 60. So a lot of the questions are sort of older, which I'm rubbish at. And there's some of the teams, like one of the teams beat the Eggheads. They've got people who were finalists in Mastermind. One guy was in the final of 15-1. You know, there's really high levels of quizzers here. I am not in that kind of format. I'm not. If you put them on the chase, if you put them in my chair, they'd be a disaster.
Right.
Because, you know, they'd have to answer quickly. They'd have to be, you know, sharp.
Yeah.
And see clues and questions and do the back and forth with Brad. They'd be really bad at the job.
Right.
But if in a pen and paper test, no chance of my beating them.
Wow, that absolutely baffles
It's
me.
mad that you've got that many good people at your pub quizzes. Like in Norwich, I doubt we've even got people who've seen Eggheads.
Yeah, I do. Me and my friend Joel are in a pub quiz. Alice is in it as well. We go to the Rumsey Wells, and it's just like they play you 10 seconds of a Katy Perry song. You have to name what it is.
But see, those guys would be rubbish at this. But this is different. This is like home and away fixtures. You sit in your home pub or your away pub, two teams. So you can't look at phones. You sit and you've got 30 seconds to answer, and you confer and you write stuff down and all. It's good fun.
Like serious though.
My team don't take it all that seriously, as you can probably tell by the fact we're bottom of the league at the moment. But like, yeah, we have a laugh, and you know, it's fun. I do it to get out, and it's good practice for quiz. But yeah, competitive quizzing is a very different beast.
What's your pub quiz name?
The Blackbird. We are named after the pub we're in. That's how it works.
Oh, okay. You can't just come up with some funny
it's the
pun.
venue. It's the venue where you're in. Yeah, so
We're called Quiz in My Pants, so...
yeah, it's been done. So you're the only thing is at least you didn't do Quiz Team Aguilera, because that's the number one. That's one that always comes.
I've never heard that. So do you ever do normal pub quizzes? Like,
Not
if you're
anymore.
ever near a pub, would you go, fancy that?
Not anymore. I ask the questions. I don't do it. There's no winning for me. So if I win, people get mad, and if I lose, I never hear the end of it.
I have just thought of a brilliant YouTube video.
Go on.
I'm going to take Darragh to my weekly pub quiz team.
That's so good.
Can we make this happen?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be good fun.
Oh,
If we're doing it for a laugh, yeah, but like
yeah, I'm sure they'd be fine with that.
Oh, it'd just be content, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Imagine if we
such a good
lost.
idea.
Imagine if we lost. They'd be kicked off the chase the
Yeah,
next day.
I know. But like, yeah, so some people, like, you know, out of the chasers, for instance, you know, Sean did 15-1. He won it. You know, he's awesome. Me and Mark, we're pub quizzers. You know, Mark doesn't do the competitions very much. Jenny does them sometimes. She's on the Irish team actually, for like the World Cup and stuff. But like Paul and Anne, they take them seriously and they go and they do really well. Like Paul Sinha, like, is a really high ranked international quizzer. He goes to like the European Championships, the World Championships and stuff, and does it and sits. Now it's a huge session afterwards, big piss up. But like they sit and do all these like different sections, entertainment, culture, all that, and write it all out and do the quizzes.
How do you get good at quizzing? Because like you said, like if you know you were going to go and do a West Ham quiz, you'd know what to research.
Yeah.
But quizzing's so broad.
Well, luckily, that's what I had to do when I first went on the chase, because I wasn't a professional. I was on the Blackbird team, but I hadn't done any of these competitions. Nothing like it, you know.
Right.
So I did it as a laugh. And then they said, okay, you need to get up to speed. So I said, okay, what do I do? And they said, go learn stuff. So I'm on lots of quiz teams. So I do a couple of online quizzes. I do individual ones. I do online, like on my own quizzes as well. Learn lists.
Every day?
I take some time off,
Yeah.
but so we're going to be recording again in a few weeks. So pretty much all of September, every day, I'll do at least a few hours and I'll learn lists. So the Team GB at the Olympics, I have to learn all them because they will come up. They always come up in quizzes.
So would you say now? So where are we now? We're mid-August, aren't we? So the Olympics finished last week, I want to say.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago. So do you know most of the facts that you need to know already about the Olympics?
Not even close, because I was in Ireland for the summer. It was Irish TV. They were watching the Irish athletes. They weren't watching the British ones. So
Right.
I know the big name ones, but all the smaller ones and the bronze medalists and stuff, I have to go and find them now.
Was it again? I think I read online that was it your mum that said that you're like a mine for useless information?
Yeah,
or something?
that was my grandmother used to call me a mine of useless information.
Right. How does that make you feel that you're smart, but it's a lot of just pointless stuff?
Well, it turns out you can turn it into a very successful career, so it's all right.
Love it. Now, it was 2017 that you appeared on The Chase as a contestant. Did you apply like the natural route, just like everyone?
Yeah.
You did? You weren't scouted or anything like that?
No, so the quiz leagues get like contacted by production companies, especially for new quizzes. Going, we're looking for contestants if anybody wants to come along, blah, blah, blah. So I applied for one called Rebound on ITV when it ran for one series during the day. I came second. So I thought that was fun.
Right.
So
so you were on the you went
I
on
went
the
on
show.
as a contestant, but luckily no one's ever seen it because I didn't win. So I thought that was fun. It was a bit of a laugh. I'd do that again. So I applied for loads of stuff. I was asked to go do Pointless as a reserve, and I said no because I was working and I didn't want to take a day off. And I was asked to do a couple of others, but I ended up doing The Chase.
Right.
So they went for the interview and I went and did it. And
What was that interview application process like? Because
so the application's just a form,
Yeah.
and then they came out to Oxford and they had the casting team, who are amazing, by the way. They go through so many people you have to find the right mix of people that'll work on TV. I would not want their job. I'd be terrible at it. But yeah, they did like a run through the show. They did a thing where you had to record a piece to camera to see if you're comfortable being recorded. Did a few questions and
quiz questions and stuff, yeah.
but fairly basic stuff. It wasn't that long. It was like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And then off we went. And then, a couple of months later, they said, come on down. And I went and weirdly won enough money to buy a back door for my house, which is what I wanted. Because my house had no back door at that point.
Why did it have no back door?
We moved in and the people who'd been there before us built a conservatory at the back and they ripped out the back door. But the conservatory was like one of these old wooden lean-to things. You couldn't lock it or anything. So,
Right.
it was freezing cold. We couldn't actually lock our house. There was nothing we could do.
No.
And we just bought the house. And when you do that thing where you buy something and you stretch yourself as far as you possibly can go.
Yeah.
We had like no money. We moved in. There was meant to be the fridge that the old owner had left behind.
Right.
And it was gone. I'm like, what the hell? Contacted the estate agent, says, yeah, they ripped it all out. And I'm going, okay. My brother had to buy us a fridge because I literally can't afford a fridge with nothing. And so back door was way down the list.
So you earned £9,000 in the cash builder.
Yeah.
And then the other three contestants, and this is highly controversial, but the other three contestants took the low offer.
Yes. For the first time ever, actually.
Oh, was it?
The first time that the seats 2, 3 and 4 took the low offer, yeah.
Oh, wow. So first of all, first question, how did that make you feel?
Didn't care. I just needed a back door. So I was on there to win a couple of grand,
Right.
No, the thing about it is that you're actually with those people all day.
Okay.
People who haven't been on TV don't understand how it works. It's almost all waiting around. They get you there early and you're waiting around all day. I was with them for literally hours and I got to know them. They're nice people. I like them.
Yeah.
So a couple of them were very nervous. It was fine.
You're in a green room, are you?
Yeah.
And I imagine they film multiple episodes in a day.
3, yeah.
Where were you? Were you the first ep, second ep? Do you remember?
We were the second one.
Right. So are you able to watch the episode as it's being recorded? The first one? You're not. You're
no.
literally just in a room.
No, because the secrecy of who the chaser is
Because you're all getting the same.
huge deal.
Right.
So even before I had appeared on screen, like when they'd recorded a few episodes of me and I was walking in my civvies, they were like, you can't just walk in. What if someone sees you? Says, no one knows who I am. I still had to do this. And it says, no, you have to get into the habit of this. And there's like all, a runner has to come down and radio ahead to make sure the corridors are clear and all that stuff.
Wow.
It's bonkers.
Wow. So you're backstage in the green room with your 3 other contestants. You're getting to know them. You like them. Have any of you discussed the potential possibility of them taking the low offer?
We kind of said, we'd have to see how it panned out. And we all said, just take what you're comfortable with. None of them planned to take the low offer. It's seriously intimidating being on TV. Mm-hmm. It's really intimidating being in a TV studio. Most people get nervous. I don't. This is one of the reasons why I got the gig.
Right.
There's cameras there, and in the back of your mind, you're going, literally millions of people are going to be watching me do this.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't want to go home with nothing. I don't want to go out, And then I got a high amount. So in your head, you're the second person up. You're going, I could get $4,500 here if I get through. You know, there's a lot. $4,500 is a lot of money. And the guy after me, Michael, he was only a kid. He was only 20, I think.
Right.
So, if I was 20 and someone said you have a chance of getting $4,500, I would have snapped their hand off for it. Never mind taking a low offer. No, it's people overreact.
You mentioned the kind of like the adage, like falling into a sewer and coming out wearing a gold watch. Those other 3 contestants, they come out wearing gold watches, didn't they?
They did.
Because they were on with you.
Yeah, I carried them through it. But like, we were all in together. It's a team game. No matter how, if you're playing football and one player has a bad game, you don't lose. You don't go, oh, you're the worst person ever, or we won despite you. You go, that's a bad game. You got to pick it up next time. We're in it together. And the money isn't real until you win it.
Yeah.
It's fictional. It's just numbers on a screen.
Okay.
Like, it's literally not there. Only when you beat the chaser in the final second does that money become real. So it's like Monopoly money. It doesn't matter.
Well, you earned 9K, and then the other 3 took the low offer, which brought the grand total down to 6,300.
Yeah.
And then you answered, I think, did you answer all or the vast majority and the beat the
I didn't get them all. I got most of them.
Right. So you split the money 4 ways. What's that? Just over $1,000 each?
We got like 1,600 and something.
1,600 each. And there was quite a backlash online about this, wasn't there?
People care way too much. So to put it into context, this was the day that Article 50 was being debated in Parliament about leaving the EU, which is a much bigger deal. But this blew it out of the water. This was the number 1 trending thing online. I gained hundreds of followers online. I only had a Twitter account because my friend, who was a bit of a hipster at the time, got married and wanted the photographs posted with a hashtag. That was how we rolled. I hadn't even really used it. I didn't know what it was for.
Right.
And then suddenly it got out that this was me, and I gained like hundreds and hundreds of followers. All sorts of press people were calling me up. It was just the most bizarre thing, and it was really, really surreal. And the weird thing was, by that point, I was already interviewing to become a chaser, but I wasn't allowed to say it.
Oh, right.
So how long after you filmed the ep did it actually go on air?
Oh, months and months afterwards.
So you just got back to normal life, and in this episode,
It already got a door, mate.
Yeah, no, my wife had ordered the door. It was ordered before I got home.
I love that.
Don't waste any time. Yeah. And the people online, I read that they created a GoFundMe for you.
They did, bless them. And they raised quite a bit of money, actually.
Did you get the money?
Oh, no, I gave it away.
Oh.
It's not my money.
You'd already got the door, so you're fine.
No, I gave it away. I gave it to charity. I'm not going to take money off people. I didn't win that money. It wasn't my money.
Right.
It's not like someone broke into my house and stole it. I got over $1,500 for having a laugh in a television studio for a couple of hours. By any stretch, unless you're a footballer, that's really good money.
Yeah.
I was getting paid 800 quid an hour to be on TV and hang around with Bradley Walsh.
Was the GoFundMe just trying to raise the money back up to the $9,000?
Yeah, they didn't get the $9,000, but they got a few hundred quid, and I just gave it away to charity. It's not. I didn't feel right taking it, to be honest. I told them not to do it, but they did it anyway.
That's the internet for you. So you mentioned that you weren't nervous being on the show.
No.
Which is quite a unique position, I guess.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Apparently, everybody's nervous. But
yeah, well, why do you think that is? Because you're not from a TV background, are you?
No, not at all. I don't get stage fright. So when I was doing my PhD, I was a couple of months into it when we went to a conference of experts in the field, and my boss couldn't go, so I was presenting data for the lab. So I'd literally only been working in the gig for a couple of months. Yeah, that's fine. To like an entire audience of world-leading experts. And she's like, are you nervous? Like, why would I be nervous? Just, I don't have that in me.
What makes you nervous? Do you ever get nervous?
Heights. I'm terrified of heights.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like climbing a ladder you'd see a different side of me.
Oh, wow.
Would you say you don't get nervous because you're confident in your knowledge and what you're going to say?
Oh, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like I did a singing show at Christmas a couple of years ago with Jenny and Anne, and I cannot sing. Didn't bother me. And we were being judged by like, Will.I.Am and Jason Manford and stuff. Like it was proper with like a few thousand people in the audience. Yeah, Grant just rolled out and did it.
Fucking hell.
I was excited. I wasn't frightened at all.
And didn't you do a drag show?
Oh yeah. I came second in a drag show in uni. I was awesome. I deserved first, to be fair.
I'd love to see some pictures. Have you got pictures?
There's probably some on my Facebook, which is completely hidden under a fake name. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I can show you some after.
What was your drag name?
Starlight Twist.
Starlight Twist. How'd you come up with that?
My friend Tom did. It's great. I wore my sister's prom dress, which I altered.
Yeah.
My dad walked in while I was altering it because I did home economics and I can sew. Useful in my PhD, as it turned out. Yeah. And I'm sewing like shoelaces across the back of it because I'm obviously a lot bigger than my sister, so it'll fit me. And he comes in from the pub and he's like, I worry about you sometimes. So I had that and a big long blue wig, long blue satin ball gown, silver shoes. I look great.
Phenomenal stuff. Now, going back to the chase, you, as a contestant, you faced the Cinnamon.
Yes.
Paul, when you see that reveal, when you see him come out, how'd that make you feel? Were you glad that you had him? Were you gutted? Did you not care?
I didn't care at all.
Oh, wow.
I didn't really mind. I loved the show. I watched it a lot. So, I genuinely was just excited to be there. So it didn't really matter who came out.
Did you have a favourite chaser before going on? Was there someone you wish you could have had?
No, I did ask for Paul but this is one of those mind-blowing coincidences. So Paul Sinha used to play on my pub quiz team in Oxford before I lived in Oxford.
Oh.
He was on the same team. So he played a few games for them when they were in the Black Swan. We moved venues. So Paul, back in the day, had played on my quiz team. And I played, by sheer coincidence, played on exactly the same quiz team years later. So I asked for him.
So how do you go about being a contestant? And then did they ask you to come
they
back?
phoned me up.
What, straight after the show?
I think it was a day or two afterwards, yeah.
Talk us through that. What did they say?
So
all right, mate.
They phoned me up and it says, hi, this is from, Helen, I suppose, so I can name her. This is Helen from The Chase, one of the producers. And I went, fuck off, lads. Because I thought it was my mates getting one of their friends to wind me up because they knew I'd been on the show. But then she's like, no, really? I'm like, oh, okay. And she knew too many details, so it definitely was her. She said, look, we're just interested in having you maybe coming in to talk to us about being the next chaser on the show. And like, confidentially, I went, yeah, that sounds great. So again, fall into a sewer, come out with a gold watch. It happened by accident. I didn't apply for it. It just happened.
Wow.
So I went down to their offices, chatted to them for a bit. They recorded me on camera while I was talking to them and answered some quiz questions. And they were like, yeah, fine. It was about an 18-month process after that of getting up to speed because there's some things I'm really bad at.
Yeah.
So like I was really bad at English history, lots of like stuff that I never learned because I didn't live here.
Yeah.
So I had to study all that and then I went in every couple of months and they kept assessing me and I did a screen test, me and another couple of people, and they picked me.
Phenomenal, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's so good. So you mentioned there, what was it? History is your worst?
No, so history is my best subject, but I learned history in Ireland. So there's certain aspects, like certain periods of British history I knew and other things that I just didn't.
Right.
So I was really, really thin on the ground on things you would have learned in primary school,
Okay.
So we learned about it a bit. We learned about Tudors and a few other things, but very little else.
Right.
And I didn't know like which party the prime ministers were from, all that kind of stuff. So all things that a lot of British people would kind of just know in the back of their head.
Yeah.
Where motorways go, because British quiz setters love a motorway. oh, so annoying. It's like, where is this brewery? Where does the M whatever go to? It's like, oh my God.
This is what fascinates me about to be match fit for a quiz. You've mentioned a few times you need to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
But how do you even think of the question to ask? Do you just go like, hey Siri, tell me a little bit about everything? Like,
no.
I don't know how your brain works in order to learn the things they need you to learn.
So you just do a bit of everything. So I made basically a book of notes of things like major works of literature, made all the films that won the best picture and best actor, big long lists of stuff, kings and queens of England, who they were married to, what their reigns were, and like a 2-sentence thing about them. So what was the major thing they did?
Yeah.
And then I read it. I've got a flashcard app on my phone. So if I'm bored and I'm waiting for a bus or something, I don't browse social media. I do flashcards on, who won the Grammys or, general knowledge. Or if I get a quiz question wrong, and I go, that's actually a kind of question that will come up on the show. 'Cause I do a lot of quizzes. I stick it into my app and I go back through it again.
Who won the third ever World Cup?
Third ever World Cup. So it's Uruguay, Italy. Who was the third one? Was it Brazil?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Brazil. It's too early. 34, 38. Who won it in 38?
The fact that
I can't remember.
The fact that it's 1938. Who won best? Which film won Best Picture 2015?
2015. No idea. Not that specific.
Are you not?
No, I don't need to be.
But would that not come up as a quiz question?
I would know if they said a movie. If you said, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
It's probably like The Artist or one of those. So
Right,
I know within a field of like 3 or 4.
Oh, so if they give you multiple choice.
So if they go, which one of these was the winner in thing? It was multiple choice, because that's the kind of question they'd ask on the chase. They would never ask something that specific.
Oh, would they not?
Think about it. They wouldn't go, who won Best Picture Oscar in 2015? That would be a level 4 question. That's a really, really hard one. That would be very rare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what? So the questions are split into different levels, are they?
Yeah. So well, they're not actually split into different levels.
Okay.
We call them different levels. So the tap-in's the really easy one.
Yeah.
Every final chase opens for both sides, opens with an absolute tap-in. It's like, what colour is this? It's always
What's the reason for that? Just to get people into this?
to get people going.
Okay, got you.
Not us so much, but the contestants. If you get your first question wrong, it can kind of rock you a little bit.
Right.
So it's to give them a bit of rhythm to get it started.
Oh, okay.
So it's a kind of, I don't think it's conscious. I think it's just something. So the first one tends to be easy. Mm-hmm. And then you get level 2 ones where it's really general knowledge, what's the capital of France kind of thing. It's
Okay.
like, and then level 3, you need to have some sort of insight to figure it out. And level 4 is that's also known as a who the fuck knows question. So either it's really specific knowledge, so if you ask Paul Sinha who won 2015, he'd know, because he knows that list.
Right.
I've never learned it like that, but I'd know if you asked me about a movie, did that ever win the Best Picture? I'd probably know it.
Oh wow. What would be your specialist subject on Mastermind? Is that a bit stupid because we've been talking about
No.
insects?
So if I was doing specialist subjects, no, it wouldn't be a science one. I'm very nerdy. I'd probably do like Game of Thrones, the books, or the Discworld books by Terry Pratchett. I love fantasy books. That kind of thing. That would be mine.
Ask Darragh a Game of Thrones question.
I don't know. I've never read the books. I've never read them. I've watched the series.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
No.
Your first appearance as a chaser.
Yeah.
Is it true that's the most watched episode?
It was.
Has it been
but
top?
I don't think it is now. I think one of Jenny's a few weeks afterwards beat it by a couple of 100,000.
Oh, really?
What do you think the reason for that is?
There was a general bump in audience numbers, I think, because they announced a new chaser was coming. So it kind of built. And then mine sort of, people maintain. If people watch something, they go back to it. So it maintained. So it maintained and it just went up. Maybe there was less on the other channels. Maybe people were, it was a wet day and there was more people at home or something. I don't know. It's really hard to predict viewer figures, to be honest.
Yeah, I read that it got 4.9 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, and it would have got loads more on socials.
But that was live.
Yeah.
That was live TV viewers.
What was the date that first aired?
Oh,
do you know? So what year did you first go in as a chaser?
That was November 2020.
2020.
Oh, so this is COVID lockdown as well.
Yeah.
That might have helped.
Yeah, so I went into lockdown as like a normal person and came out famous. So imagine, do you know the way that first couple of days was weird?
Yeah.
Imagine how weird it was for me. Just imagine you went from what it used to be, lockdown, back to what it used to be, and that was strange. I went from what it used to be, lockdown, and then picture with you.
Yeah.
It was really bizarre.
How did you adapt to that then? Because how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 44.
44. So 2020, 41. So you became famous in your 40s.
Yeah.
Which is later on than most. How that must have been a big change. How did you adapt to it?
Generally, people are nice.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like in person, people are nice.
Yeah.
Online, they're awful, but you just ignore those.
Yeah.
And so I'm just generally a quite friendly person. So I just kind of chat to people and did the photographs. It's a lot easier to be nice than to be horrible, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it. The weird thing is like the big events, the stuff that you go to, like red carpet, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's really, really weird. The first time I did that, I think it was the NTA's National TV Awards.
Yeah.
And I was in getting picked up, and I got picked up by a car, and they're like, okay, so you're going to get out and go on red carpet. And like, nobody kind of told me what was going to happen. So I gone, okay, this is weird. And I got out, and it's like, you know, the weird thing of flash bulbs.
The paparazzi balls and
yeah. I'm like, this is so bizarre. And people are like queuing up to get autographs and photos, and it's really long. It goes on for about like 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm like, I just like total overload. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like I am like, this is literally the dude who was, you know, cutting brains out of insects in a lab coat, listening to podcasts. You know, this is, and like I'm just, and I only finished with that job relatively recently. I was still doing it until a few months ago.
Right, wow.
So you know, I was still I was just me.
Yeah.
And I just found it so bizarre that people were interested, that people cared. You know, people genuinely, like, I famously don't tell people when my birthday is. My mates edit my Wikipedia page and put up a fake one. And everybody thinks that's my real birthday. So everybody asks me all the time, I'm like, don't give out your date of birth on the internet. That's like the number one rule. You don't give out personal information.
Out there.
Oh, fuck that.
And like, do you tell people your mother's maiden name and your pet's first name and like your PIN code while you're at it?
I
Like,
have said my mum's maiden name. My mum's maiden name is Cox, so we thought it was funny.
yeah, there you go. Just,
Oh, the comedy's not worth losing my bank, is it?
Wow. Do you like being famous?
I don't dislike it, but I don't revel in it.
Right.
I think it's weird. But I just live a normal life.
Yeah.
People think, you know, oh, you're on TV. Like, we don't get paid that much money. I live a normal life. I spend most of my time in my house.
Right.
I like the opportunities it's given me, getting to do things like this and to like go I now really like the award shows actually, and going to do fun stuff. I got to write a book, which I always wanted to do, but I was never able to get a publisher. The opportunities it gives me are brilliant, but the whole, you know, being noticed and stuff, it's a bit draining.
Yeah.
But you just do it. Like, I go away with my my mates from school. English people find this weird. My friends from school are all still friends. And there's like a group of about 30 of us who are on like a WhatsApp group together. Yeah. And we'll go away every May bank holiday weekend. We go away somewhere. We go somewhere cheap, like Benidorm or Albufeira or something. And we go for the weekend, just the guys.
That's incredible.
And about like 15 or 20 of us will go, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We have so much fun. And it's because we don't do stag parties anymore.
Right.
Irish people don't get divorced. Don't know if you've heard about this. It's not really a thing. It's legal, but nobody does it. So all of my mates, pretty much, except for one or two who probably will never get married, are married. So there's no stag parties anymore. And that was the only reason we got together. So we now do this as our unofficial sort of stag weekend.
Right.
But I like just mobbed by people.
Right.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And it doesn't help that they go fucking recruiting them as well. Like, they see I'm getting annoyed and they go call people over. But
You've
like,
done
it's
stuff like that with me. Do you remember the pen? Could you tell Darragh about the pen?
When we were walking through Norwich once, people kept speaking to Jaack, and I told them that he takes a pen around with him just in case people want his autograph. And then we were on a night out in Norwich, and he had like a queue of people trying to take photos. This is before the podcast, when he was just doing YouTube stuff. A queue of people trying to take photos with him, and a girl came up to him and went, "Oh, who is he? Like, why are people trying to get photos?" And I went, "I don't know. He just pays me to go on nights out with him to take photos for him." It is fun to kind of dig into it a bit.
I love it.
And then weirdly, I've started having people who say they know me from TikTok and not from TV.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of bizarre. Like, I'm not massive on TikTok at all, but like, I post all the time.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Oh yeah, you're that guy off TikTok." I says, "Yeah, I am." Like, "Oh yeah, I love the things you post." That's great. Thanks very much. So what else do you do? I'm like, "Well, I work on TV." "Oh, do you?" "I don't watch TV." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's
different generation.
Quite nice and refreshing. Yeah. It's, do you want to plug your socials? Because it's fun stuff.
My social media is all under the name Bones Giles, and this was my childhood nickname. And like I said, I signed up to Twitter for my mate's wedding. I didn't put any thought into it, and I'm kind of stuck with it now. And my agent keeps telling me I have to change, but it's too late.
Love it. Now, Darragh, I just want to ask a few questions about your fellow chasers.
Yes.
If you don't mind. First of all, do you ever just go on a big night out, you and the chasers?
Not really, no. So we all live very different lives, for starters.
Yeah.
We actually don't see each other that much in studio. Beat the Chasers we do, because we're all together.
Yeah.
But the regular one, the person in the middle show sees the other two. So, you know, we do 3 shows a day.
Right.
We're not all standing out the back waiting for, you know, a queue. So we're on a rota. So we don't actually see each other that much. Things like award shows, big events like that, we go out together. I went to Jenny's birthday party a couple of years ago. That was great fun.
Nice.
Went to Paul's wedding, even though I hadn't actually appeared on the show at that point. Very nice when he invited me along. So yeah, big things like that. But we, like, you know, Anne is woman in her 60s who's autistic. Sean is a very busy barrister who lives in London. I live in Oxford. I've got small kids.
Yeah.
Mark lives up the north, or at least he used to. He lives sort of like in the Midlands, and so we live miles away from each other.
Right.
And other than we're work friends and we get along and we have a WhatsApp group and we chat to each other, but we don't go out.
Who would you say you're closest to out of the Chasers?
Probably Jenny, because we're closest in age, so we're a lot younger than the others.
Right.
So we're in our 40s, they're in their 50s and 60s. Pretty close to Paul as well. He's a really good guy, and he really helped me out. And then I spend a lot of time with Mark, actually, because we stay over in the hotel when we're recording.
Oh, okay.
And we kind of hang out and have dinner and stuff. Oh. And he's been really good with me, helping me adjust to the whole fame thing, because he has all that sorted because he's been doing it for so long.
And when you think of the Chase, I feel like I might be wrong on this, but I feel like he's the poster guy to the Chasers, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he's been on it the longest. And
that's probably why.
So him and Sean were the first two.
Right.
So that's probably why. So those two are.
Those two.
And the sheer size of him means he gets attention.
Yeah.
People don't understand. He really is a beast. He's 2 meters tall. He's lost 10 stone.
Yeah.
And he's still massive. He is a gigantic, he's a big personality and a big, big person as well. So he kind of fills any space he's in.
Now, I love this question. I'm so intrigued to know how you answer this. Out of all the Chasers, if it was a matter of life and death and you had to pick one Chaser, you had to back them to get 30 questions right out of 30 on a specific topic, who do you think you would choose? You can't say yourself. And which and which topic do you think you'd go for?
I would pick Paul Sinha, and I would pick athletics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but Paul is a nerd. He went to the Olympics this year, and he is genuinely encyclopedic on athletics.
Okay, great answer.
If you had to go 1v1 against another Chaser, who would you least like to go against, but in a battle of pure trivia?
Pure trivia, probably Paul again, or Anne, because they're good at the things I'm bad at.
Right.
I'd like to go against Mark because we are good at the same stuff, and I think it would be a really interesting battle. But yeah, I would say Paul probably, because he was number one in Britain. He really does this quiz stuff very well. I'd have to say Paul would be the one I'd least like to do.
A little factor I read about you, which you can confirm or no. We need to know your reasoning behind it. Actually, what's the thing you do with cheese? With 1 second to go? Is this a real thing?
Oh yeah.
I like this.
So the worst thing you can say is pass. Pass has only been a correct answer on the Chase once in 15 years.
And that was fairly recently.
Yeah, that was last series.
Yeah.
So they tend to have certain easy questions. So like I said, the level 1 questions have a limited number of answers. So often a very common question is, which dairy product? And it's almost always cheese. It's almost always cheese. It just is. So we kind of have a running joke. Mark shouted it out in Beat the Chasers once, and we all thought it was very funny. So now, if I'm down to 1 second and I need to shout an answer, I just shout cheese before I even hear the question. Because there's about a 0.1% chance it'll be right. And if it ever is, it'll be hilarious.
What happens the one time you shout cheese and the answer was pass?
Yeah.
Then you're fuming.
Yeah. Don't say pass. I'd rather lose.
Has anyone, any contestant ever contested an answer?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, that's perfectly fair. We have independent adjudicators on set all the time. So there's a company called Beyond Dispute, and a wonderful woman called Olivia does that. And she's appointed to oversee everything. And if either side asks, I want to get that checked, then she, independent of the producers and the question setters, verifies whether the answer is correct or not.
What, and they can just do that mid-recording?
Yeah, they just pause recording, and everything has to be fair. We don't care how long it takes. It has to be fair and it has to be right. And we tell everybody, as a contestant, you're told, if you're not happy with a question, if you think your answer is right and you're told it's wrong, say it straight away. Because we want to cut record, because it's a lot easier editing-wise, to cut record. And then they go and check it.
Even in the kind of like the end games when it's against the clock and stuff?
Doesn't matter when it is. So you just go, I'm sorry, can we check that question? And then they go, okay. And this is not just something you can do, it's something you should do.
How often are they wrong when they're contesting it?
Rarely.
Because
there's a question setting team who have the horrible job of setting questions for us, because we never stop complaining. We're awful. We really are.
Do you contest them as well?
Oh yeah, all the time. So if I say, actually, do you know what? I don't think that's quite right. Or I think my answer is also correct in a way, because it's hard setting quiz questions. It really is, and sometimes, especially if you're not an expert in the subject, there can be a second answer. And Brad has like a list of acceptable answers that he has to read through. So for some questions, because people have multiple names, that kind of thing. Yeah. So you just contest it. It happens.
And so when the contestants are contesting it, do they get overturned?
If they're right, if their objection is true, then it depends. So if the answer they gave is technically correct, Brad will take it as an answer. So they'll go back to the edit. He'll either reread the question or they'll go from the point where he stops asking the question, and he'll say, instead of saying that's wrong, this is the real answer, he'll go, I accept or correct.
So there's a chance when we're watching it, there's been a few minutes of stuff that have happened that they've just taken out and gone, well, that was correct.
You have misreads and everything. Yeah. Brad's a brilliant professional. His ability to read at speed is epic. I don't know how he does it so well, but he makes mistakes. He misreads something, puts in the wrong word, misses a word, it happens. So you have to put all the time. Anyway, it's really rare we go through a final chase without at least one misread.
Is there any funny moments you can think of that would have been cut out that are suitable for podding?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I think sometimes Brad's reactions to his own misreads are great. Right. Because he gets genuinely angry with himself. Yeah. And if he has a couple of them especially, it's like, he's like, oh, fuck's sake, Brad, you'll end up on Pointless at this rate. and things like that. Because Pointless was, until recently, used to be recorded next door to us. Literally next door. So we were neighbours. So
I love Richard Osman, by the way. I love it.
I do as well. There is an absolute perfect contestant for the celeb chase. Really want to get him on. But, he's a big shot now. He's probably too big for us.
Love it. Big question here, Darragh. Mm-hmm. Why does it seem, I think you know what I'm going to ask, but why does it seem that the questions on the celebrity version of the chase are way easier than the normal ones?
They're not.
That can't be true.
If you look at the scores,
right,
and you look at the numbers, very slightly higher, maybe very slightly higher.
Okay.
But the selection process, when you're dealing with celebs, you have a much smaller pool of people, and there's a very large number of them who won't go on because they're so worried about their image.
Okay.
And if they don't think they're going to be good, they won't do it. The general public, there's a lot of people who know they're going to be like okay or not particularly good, but they go on because they really want to go on the show.
Yeah.
Most celebs don't do that. So I think the average celeb who goes on is confident, wants to go on, isn't shy in front of the camera, doesn't get like weirded out by the studio. We have lots of brilliant contestants who panic and do really badly.
Right.
That never happens to the celebs. Really rare. Very rare.
So their advantage might not necessarily be how smart they are, but how confident they are in that setting.
How comfortable they are and how comfortable they are in their knowledge. So they self-select a lot more than contestants do. They're a lot more comfortable in studio. Yeah. And, we get some celebs who are genuinely brilliant, like David James, brilliant quizzer. Yeah. Genuinely brilliant quizzer. Yeah. Him and a team wiped me out for like 120 grand for Soccer Act. But like, it was stacked, that's just how it is. That we've got really good quizzers here, because I'm never going to lose on purpose, and I feel bad afterwards, especially on the celeb shows because they're for charity. But the whole audience, because they have an audience, Brad, the producers, we all want the celebs to win because it's for charity.
Yeah.
But we have to try and make them not win. So, there's that awful balance between it. But generally, they do a little bit better, but I think it's because they're more comfortable.
So you say there that you don't feel bad.
You
say there that you feel bad for knocking players out. But I went on your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And your name on there is Darragh Ennis, Crusher of Dreams.
That's what I do. But I do crush dreams.
Yeah.
Like, people go on there with genuine dreams of like going on a dream holiday and stuff, and I go, not for you.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Unless I have to do pickups and stuff afterwards, I make a real effort to meet the contestants afterwards and talk to them. And I genuinely feel sorry for them, because I've been there. I know exactly what it's like. And these people have come on for, they might not need a back door for their house, but sometimes it's really noble things. Like, you have these, grandmothers coming on who want to give money to their grandkids.
Or keep the heating on over winter.
Well, never quite that bad. Like, they're going, I want to bring my grandkids to Disneyland. It's such a lovely thing. And you just beat them and you're like, God, I feel so bad. The worst ones are when a team wins a lot of money, but one person doesn't make it.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's awful because they're like 3 of the team are like getting like 20 grand each or something, and then one's going home, like getting the bus home.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
would they see each other again though? Because if they
sometimes they do.
Do they?
Depends on the contestants. I've never seen the people I was on with again, and I really would like to, but they're not on social media, and I don't blame them because there was a big backlash against them, to be honest. So I've never been. If I ever bumped into one of them again, I'd love to chat to them.
Yeah.
But like some teams, like they're exchanging numbers and stuff when they leave.
Oh, right.
You just make friends with people.
And in terms of like actually live on the show, if the first person goes out and then the next 3 go in, is that first person already in a cab back to?
No, they sit backstage usually.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, so they sit
have to
backstage
watch the
so they
thing
can
win the
watch it.
money.
Well, they don't have to. I think people want to, you know.
I'd leave.
Yeah.
I'm done. I do not want them to win. I will be crying.
Well, also the first person has to stay in case they all go out. Because one person has to come back. So you can't go straight away anyway. You have to wait. You'd have to wait minimal until the second person goes out.
And how does it feel when you lose an episode?
I do not like losing. I put a brave face on it, and I've been taught and brought up to be a good loser. I do not like losing. I don't. It's not so bad if the team are good, but if I have a bad day, if there's a low target and I don't catch it, I'm furious with myself for like days afterwards.
What's the? Is there a number where you're pretty confident you can catch that number?
18 usually.
18.
So anything over 20 we consider a free go. That's what we call it, because if you win, it's great. If you don't, it's no problem. But anything less than 18, if it's like a 16 or a 15, I lost to a 14 before, and I was genuinely annoyed at myself.
I want to give you a chance here to beat Jaack in a quiz.
Okay.
God.
I've are you paid by ITV? Because thanks to me, you're probably going to get some good money, because I watched a lot of episodes of The Chase for this and I skipped through to get to the bits where there aren't multiple choice. So the start of each contestant and the end, and the cash builder, and then the chase at the end, to make sure I wasn't getting multiple choice. Every time I tried to skip, I had to watch ads again.
Yes.
So I watched more ads than the actual show for this. So I got all of these questions from random episodes, multiple different episodes.
It's going to be all questions about ads, isn't it? Like which boxer put his name to a cooker or something.
So what we'll do, rather than making you both answer, some of these are tap-ins. Like they're quite simple questions. I'm going to give all the questions to Jaack. And then when he gets them wrong, if he gets them wrong, sorry.
You might get them all.
We'll pass it over to you. Some of these are genuinely really hard, though.
Yeah.
So
how many questions?
I've got 25.
Okay.
We'll see how quickly we can get through them, though.
Okay.
The last 5 I quickly added, I just made up.
All right.
So I think they're harder, if anything.
Okay, right.
Okay. Question 1.
Yeah.
The details in a contract, often found in a smaller type, is called the small
print.
Well done.
Okay, would you have got that?
Tap in, yeah.
No,
he's doing this right. You have to have the first question easy. Get
Always
the confidence up.
Right. God,
Modern ice hockey was originated in what Commonwealth country?
Okay, I don't know what Commonwealth country means. So what does that mean, Darragh?
It's a country that's in the Commonwealth. Do you know Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, but what is Commonwealth?
It's a group that Britain invented after the empires to sound like they weren't trying to rule the world.
Okay, so I'll go for Switzerland.
So I thought this was a tap-in.
Canada.
Yeah.
Ah.
There we go. It was 1-1 after 2 questions.
I lived there for 3 years.
Right.
You're never getting this. I wonder whether you will. In art terms, the word pastiche refers to what?
A palette.
No.
Paint.
It's a very hard question.
Pastiche is like a tribute, isn't it?
Imitation.
Imitation, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
God, you're good.
It's also in movies.
I like the 2-1 up,
Yeah.
and he's not even being asked the questions.
Yeah. You're good at this. You're good at this.
Here's an easy one for you, Jaack. What term describes a piece of sausage meat wrapped in pastry and baked?
My favourite food in the world, sausage rolls. Thank you.
There we go. We push and pull like a magnet do is a line in what Ed Sheeran number 1?
Push and pull like a magnet. With your body, oh wee.
And you said you can't sing.
Well, if I was on the chase right now, I'm losing time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, move body.
Oh, he's so close. He's so close.
Just move like something. Move like you. Move like me.
Shape of you.
Shape of you. I'll give you another easy one. Yeah. So what's that? Is that 3-2 to Darragh? Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2009, which graffiti artist painted MPs in the House of Commons as chimps?
Banksy.
Yes, House of Commons.
Top tip for the chase: which graffiti artist immediately say Banksy? Because he's the only one that they ask questions.
I don't know any other graffiti
I
artists.
clicked episodes at random,
Yeah.
2 different Banksy answers.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
which space agency? NASA. It's never the European Space Agency. Always NASA.
You'll get this one, Jack. Which English footballer scored 42 goals for Barcelona in the 1980s?
Lineker.
Well played.
Would you have got that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of reptile is the venomous golden lancehead?
Let's go snake.
It's always a snake.
Go on. Which Batman villain is an expert in the field of cryogenics?
Penguin?
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
I don't know what that is.
Clues
That's
in
an
the
ice
name.
pop.
Arnold Schwarzenegger played him in the dreadful Batman and Robin movie. He said, "Eyes to see you."
Not a bad impression.
Yeah, it's quite good.
This one's easy. What substance is secreted by the ceruminous glands in the ear?
Wax.
What English cheese was developed in Somerset?
Cheese.
Cheddar.
What English cheese? Cheese.
Trying to do his tactic.
What Earth orbiting satellite was the most expensive object ever built?
Oh, is this the bloke that went on Mars? The little robot that went on Mars?
That's not orbiting Earth.
Okay.
It's on Mars.
What's the answer?
International Space Station.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the little bloke
Like
on Mars.
It's like $100 billion or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Insane. How many years are there in half a century?
How many? 50.
Look at
He's in.
that. You'd be surprised how many people can't do basic arithmetic in their head. That would be tricky for a lot of people.
Oh, wow.
Taxi cab is the name of a shade of which primary colour?
Yellow.
Easy. Hepatalgia is a pain in which organ of the body?
Hepatitis. You get hepatitis. In which organ did you say?
Yeah.
I don't know. So you say organs, there's got to be one. So,
There's good logic.
yeah.
One.
Kidney.
No, there's 2 kidneys.
Oh, is it?
He's even broken it down. There's just one of them.
So if it's one, it's either brain, heart, or liver. Generally, it could be pancreas or stomach, but it's not going to.
Right.
Oh, here we go. What is the chemical symbol for gold?
Oh.
Yes, correct.
It's
It's AU.
Oh, that's good.
I should know that because the vodka brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is a hard one.
Okay.
In which year did the Titanic sink?
1957.
57, Jesus, 1912.
Who discovered penicillin?
Oh, can I have the initials, please, Brad?
Can I give him the initials?
Yeah.
AF.
And Frank.
Oh my God. That would be on the blooper show. That's such a bad answer.
Frank discovered penicillin.
She had a lot of time.
She didn't. She died when she was a teenager.
Famously didn't have much time. You think she was just up in the roof?
She
Just
was locked in an attic and then she went to a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Locked in, Alexander Fleming.
not discovering penicillin.
It was
in an
how
attic.
Aretha Franklin, I thought.
Okay. Oh, another simple arithmetic. What is 3/5 of 40?
3/5 of 40. 24.
All right.
Seriously, a lot of people are terrible at that.
Okay, these are the 5 I made up.
Okay.
The giant cock that was placed on the 4th plinth in Trafalgar Square in 2013 was what colour?
Gold.
I don't know this one. I'm going to say purple just for giggles.
It was blue. Not far off.
Was this an Olympic thing?
It was a huge cockerel.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
okay, what was the most streamed song of 2023?
I'll go for... God, I should know this. I've heard this somewhere. Let's go for Ice Spice. Ice Spice. Is it? Do you know it?
Oh, is this Vampire?
It was Miley Cyrus Flowers.
Yeah.
And also the reason you'd heard it is because you asked us that exact question on the quiz of the year at the start of the year. So,
I was going between that, Stick Season, and Vampire. Yeah.
okay, so I put some harder ones in. This is so
Yeah.
hard. How many time zones are there in Russia?
4.
No, it's a lot more than 4.
Is there?
It's fucking huge. Is it 11?
11.
Do you know how many there are in China? Everybody does Beijing time, regardless of where they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and France has the most. 14.
France is 14.
It's not that big though, is it, France?
Yeah, it does if you include all the islands that it owns. So Tahiti, all that. It's all
Oh,
the way around
wow.
the world.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is the one I actually meant to say is hard. So that was easy compared. Michael Phelps is the most decorated Olympian in the world with 28 medals. How many of those were gold?
Core.
Rotten.
Very hard, isn't it? So 28 medals. How many gold medals did he get?
19.
No, it's less than that. 16?
23.
Oh,
Wow.
Only 5 times did he not get a gold medal.
I read
That's
that-
insane.
And
isn't
one of
it?
them, I think, was in a relay where it wasn't just him.
I read that his body creates half the amount of lactic acid that everyone else's, that the majority of people
He
does.
probably has a genetic mutation.
Yeah.
The best swimming fact, though, is Katie Ledecky, you know, the American swimmer. She, at 400 meters, I think it is, the top 20 times in history are all her.
Whoa.
That's
It was
insane.
19 out of 20. She got the 20th at the Olympics.
I'm taking that. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, where are we? A last couple. Until 1923, what was the Turkish city of Istanbul called?
Istanbul? No?
Are you trying to say Istanbul?
No, he's gone
You're
with
just
the he's
saying-
gone with the football teams because they're all called Bursaspor, and it's
Yeah.
no, it's not that.
No?
Constantinople, and before that was Byzantium.
That's insane, isn't it? Finally, how many keys does a classic piano have?
Cheese.
88.
88.
Same number of constellations.
Oh, Darragh, I've got to say now, mate, you have been one of my favourite guests ever.
Lean over.
We've gone way over time, but I could sit here and speak to you.
Sure, you can kill it in the edit.
And I've got to say, even though Jaack got to answer the question first, he still lost, I believe.
Yeah, of course I did.
I'm a professional.
Love it. So just remind everyone again, when's your book out?
My book is out on the 26th of September, and it's called The Body 10 Things You Should Know.
Beautiful. We'll shout about it on our socials when that comes out. Bones Giles on
everything.
On everything. What else has 2024 got in store for you, mate?
So I suppose I'm going to have to record some more episodes of The Chase. But other than that, not a lot, actually. Weirdly, not a lot. Because I worked 2 jobs and had no days off. And then suddenly I had lots of time off.
No more pulling brains from flies?
No, I've had 3 months off with pretty much no work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to be working, promoting the book and recording The Chase.
Beautiful. Love it. This has been Jaack Mate's Happy Hour podcast with me, Jaack Mate, Stevie White, and the brilliant Darragh Ennis. Darragh, we always finish with the same question, which you won't know.
Yes.
What's the meaning of life?
Have fun. It doesn't last forever.
There we go. Beautiful. See you in a few days, guys. Cheers, mate.
That's a bit of a rough question to end on.
Jaack Mate's Happy Hour.